Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanya Gonzalez, aka Kiss and Makeup 0514 here on YouTube, and welcome to the video. Okay guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today's video I am doing a wear test and trying out the new Morphe foundation, concealer, and also the Morphe powder as well. But before we get into that, I want to make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel, so make sure you guys subscribe right down below and also hit that little notification bell. That way you guys are notified every time I upload a new video, which is going to be every Friday at 6 p.m. for right now. So I am gonna go into the foundation, I'm gonna go into the concealer and the powder for you guys. So this is the full coverage Morphe Fluidity foundation, and then I also got two of the concealers as well for you guys. I wanted to try them out and see how they would work for me. I did go to the Morphe store last week and I picked everything up, and then I also got the new powder as well because I figure if I was gonna do a wear test with the foundation, I might as well use the powder. So I just want to go into like the products really quickly themselves. So this does retail for $18. It is 1 fluid ounce. I do go into a lot more about this foundation when I am applying it, so you guys will hear a lot of that in the next clip, but I just wanted to show you guys up close how it looks. It definitely does look like a drugstore foundation to me. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys how the Morphe concealers look. These are them. I did get 2 shades here just because I couldn't pick one, and I wanted to make sure I was getting the correct shade. So this is also a full coverage concealer, and it has 0.15 full ounces in here as well. The shades that I got on the concealers are C135 and then C155. I did, like I said, get 2 just because I couldn't figure out which one I wanted, but you guys will see in the video which one I like the most. So I did pick up the Morphe powder as well. I will bring it up a little closer for you guys. So this is how it looks. I did get mine in filter 5, and it does retail for $12. And the reason why I wanted to get the powder is because I wanted to do this wear test with the foundation. I just wanted to give this a really good review, and I wanted to make sure I used the Morphe powder because it did come out with it, and that's why I wanted to try the concealers as well. And I also did pick up the Fluidity brush and sponge trio that they did have there in the Morphe store as well. It did come with the foundation brush, a concealer brush, and then also it did come with a sponge. And I am going to be using all of those in the video so you guys get to see my opinion and stuff like that. Honestly, this was only $19, and I thought that was a really good deal because you got 2 brushes and a sponge. So I was all about that. So I was like, let me just pick this up because I just wanted to make sure I gave it a really full, good review. So if you guys want to see how this foundation applies, if you guys want to see all the info on the foundation, just keep watching. Okay guys, so just getting right into the products really quickly before we apply them. The foundation that I got was F2.20. That's this one here. And then as far as the concealers, I got C1.35 and C1.55. And then I did also want to pick up the brush and sponge trio set. I wanted to do one side of my face with the brush, and then I wanted to do the other side with the sponge, and then I am going to be using this for my concealer. And then I also got a powder as well. So this one I got is in filter 5. So I'm hoping these products are gonna work for my skin because it was truly, honestly, it was really hard when I went to the Morphe store to pick out a shade. I felt a little overwhelmed because there's 60 shades in this collection with foundation. And I mean, for me, it's a little confusing. So you do get 60 shades, which is really good. I love that they came out with so many shades. But they have level 1, which is light, level 2, which is medium, level 3, which is tan, level 4, which is rich, level 5, which is deep. So I don't know, that it just confuses me. Obviously, I know that I am a medium skin tone, so I went for level 2. And then the F2.20, it's a neutral light medium with neutral undertones. I did try a F2.50, which was olive, and it says a light medium with yellow undertones, and that one was too dark. So I was totally confused. And maybe I should have let one of the Morphe associates color match me, but they were pretty busy that day. And I'm used to pretty much color matching myself. Whenever I look for a foundation, I can pretty much do it. But I just felt confused. So I can't imagine like somebody who maybe is just starting out with their makeup, or maybe is not sure how to color match, being like really confused when they walked in there, because I sure was. But like I said, I should have asked one of the employees to help me, because I'm sure that they know more about the foundation than I do, since they work there. So I am gonna start to apply it, but I do want to use a primer. The primer I am gonna go in with is gonna be this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer here. It's actually supposed to be a dupe for the Tatcha primer, and I've actually used this one time before and I really like it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and prime up my whole face. So this is how the sponge looks. It's actually a little different because it's pointed at the end here, and where I'm used to it being more rounded like the egg shape, this is really flat. So I'll just bring it up a little closer so you guys can really see how flat it is on the other side. And then this is the foundation brush. This is the M439 brush. We also are going to be using the concealer brush that it came with as well. So this one is the M173, and that's the concealer one. So I am going to go in with this foundation, and let's pray now that this matches me, because I don't know if this is gonna match. So I just want you guys to see how this looks. This is how the packaging looks. It reminds me of a drugstore foundation, to be honest with you guys. I can't think of it offhand, but it does remind me of a drugstore foundation. And it does retail for $18, which I think is pretty reasonable as far as like foundations go. If you're going more on the high end with a foundation, it's gonna be at least 30 and up. And usually drugstore is, I wanna say 15 and below, or I've seen some of them even $16. So the price point isn't bad on this. $18 is fine. And then you get 1 fluid ounce with this. So we are gonna start off with the sponge, and I am gonna do this side here first. So I think this side is supposed to be for your face, obviously. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of foundation on the sponge and then just start blending it. Oh, that was a lot of foundation. Maybe I shouldn't have put so much, but. So the color is definitely a little bit light for me. But I can make it work just because I'll bronze up my face and everything, so it's not really a huge deal. In the summer, I probably won't be able to wear this at all. The coverage is pretty good. Like, it covered up any of my redness, anything like that, any dark spots. So just that amount that I put on the sponge gave me super good coverage. As you guys can see, look at the coverage on that. I do really like the coverage of this. The coverage is really good so far. Like, it's giving me super good coverage. I mean, I should have went with a darker shade in foundation. I did get a darker powder just in case this was too light, so I'm pretty sure we can work with this. So now I'm gonna go in with the brush on the other side, and all I'm gonna do is put a little bit of that foundation on the brush and just go in on this side and see how it looks. I do like to use a sponge most of the time. You guys always see me use a sponge. I never use foundation brushes anymore, but we're gonna try this out and see if it works. So it's definitely not bad with the brush, but I'm not getting the coverage that I got on this side of my face with the sponge. So I am gonna go in with a little bit more, and I'm probably gonna go back to the sponge as well. Like I said, this brush is not a bad brush or anything like that. I just feel like it's definitely not something that I would use often, just because I'm used to using the sponge, and I feel like the sponge applies way better. It's not as streaky, and you kind of can get like a better application with the sponge. So now that I've put this on my face, I am super pale. Like, this is really too light, so I'm gonna be walking around like a crazy person today. So I am gonna go in with the concealer. I could not figure out what my shade was. I'm just gonna swatch these on the back of my hand so you guys can see as well. This one is C135, and that's the shade right here. It just reminds me of the vanilla shade from the Born This Way concealer that I really like, so that's why I got that one. And then the other one is going to be C155. So that's this shade right here. I didn't know which one to go with. I'll probably maybe mix them. This one looks a little peachy pink to me, so maybe I'll put this first and then put this right on top, because if anything, this can just color correct for me. So yeah, that's kind of peachy there. So we are just going to work with it like I said. So I'm going to take this shade first. I actually really like the coverage of that, and of course I like the doe foot applicator that it has. Really convenient, and I like those type of applicators. It feels like it's drying, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on top of it. So I would definitely do the C1.35. That would probably be my shade. The other one is really a no-go for me, but it feels like this is drying. So I'm gonna go in with the concealer brush, which I don't even think is gonna work, because no, see, I don't like the concealer brush. I'm not even gonna try it, guys, because I know I'm gonna ruin it. So yeah, so I'm gonna just go in with the sponge. So I definitely love the coverage of this. If you guys can see, this is a full coverage. Really nice. I know I put it on top of the other one, but that other shade was definitely not my shade. I'll probably be returning that because it was just too pink peachy for me. I definitely will say that it dries pretty quick, so you have to hurry when you're working with this. Like, don't let it sit for a while, because you'll probably have a problem if you do that. So I'm just gonna go right down here on my forehead, my nose, and here. So this is definitely a full coverage right now, and I know I'm looking a little pale, guys. Please, I know this is like, I look ghostly right now, but what I'm gonna do is put a little bit of some setting powder underneath my eyes, and the one I'm using is the Maybelline Fit Me one, and I'm using this one in Fair. Okay, so we're just going to let that sit for a second. I cannot blend out my concealer with this brush, so I'll probably use it for maybe my eyeshadow primer or something. These are the brushes I like to use for that, but for concealer, no. Especially that concealer, I feel like it dries really quickly, so you have to kind of move really quick. So I'm just going to dust this powder off. And then we're gonna go in with the powder. Okay, so I got mine's in filter number 5, which seems pretty dark, but I was afraid that the foundation wasn't gonna match me, so that's why I got like a darker powder. So let's just hope this works. So this is how it looks. It has a little mirror right here, and then it also comes with one of their sponges right here, and it says like Morphe in the back, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to take this. Oh, it does look dark. I actually really like the powder so far. It looks really good. Okay guys, so now that I'm not looking that ghostly anymore, I'm going to use this Maybelline City Bronzer. This is number 200. This is brand new from the drugstore, and I've actually been using it every day. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just taking a little bit more of that powder. I'm going to take this Essence Brighten Up. This is their banana powder, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this and put this underneath my eyes, and then just on my forehead, my chin. So I'm just going to go in with this collab blush, and this one is in Sheer Blush, and this is called Sweet Surprise. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that, put that on my cheeks. I'm going to go a little bit on my nose. So I'm just going to throw on a little highlight. This is the Pixi by Petra. This is their Delicate Dew Glowy Glossomer Duo Highlight. And I am going to be using this one right here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna finish up my eyes and my lips and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I am back. I finished up my makeup. So what I'm gonna do is a wear test for you guys. So I am gonna come back later and let you guys know how this looks. I don't know if you guys remember when I used to do my foundation Fridays. This is the way I used to do it because I used to try a foundation and then I used to check in with you guys at the end of the evening and tell you my thoughts on the foundation. That way I can fully tell you how I feel about it because I have been wearing it all day. It is around 2:30 I think right now, so I'll come back later on this evening sometime and tell you guys. I am going to be outside. It's not super hot here in Florida, so that shouldn't affect the foundation at all. So I will be back here around, like, I want to say 7:30, 8 o'clock. Okay guys, so it is now about 7:45 and just don't mind this right here, this crease. I was wearing a hat. I don't know why I decided to put on a hat today. So yeah, I was wearing a hat, but I wanted to come back here and show you guys how the foundation looked and also my thoughts on the foundation. I have a mirror. I'm gonna bring it up really close because I need to look at this really closely. I am starting to get oily and it hasn't even been that many hours. I think I left off with you guys around like 2:30 it was, and it's only 7:45, so it really hasn't been that many hours and I'm starting to get oily here on my nose. On my smile line, as you guys can see, there is a crease there. Right here, it's not really creasing too much there. It's actually it stayed pretty good on my forehead, but as you guys can see, like, my cheeks are getting like super oily. Hopefully you guys can see through the camera, but they're getting oily here. And then also I feel like I could see a lot of my texture through this foundation. I still agree with the fact that the foundation is really full coverage, but I feel like you can see a lot of my texture on my skin. Like, honestly, I can see all of the texture here on my chin and on my cheeks when I wear my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, which has been my holy grail for, I want to say, a few months since it first came out. I've already purchased like 6 or 7 of them. That's how much I really like that foundation. This actually doesn't even compare to that. Like, when I'm looking at this really does not look good. Like, I don't know, I don't even like the concealer, to be honest with you. I'm not crazy about the way the concealer wears. I can definitely see creasing right here. I wouldn't say it's the worst foundation I've ever tried. It really isn't. It's just not the best foundation, or it's actually not in my top, like, let's say 5 foundations. It wouldn't be. So on the powder, I just feel like it shouldn't be this oily, and it hasn't even been 8 hours yet, you know what I mean? So if I press here on my chin, I can definitely pull makeup on my fingers, and honestly, that's not really supposed to happen, especially if you use powder. It doesn't happen to me with the foundation that I use, the NYX one, so that's why I'm really kind of like, you know, not impressed with this foundation, because I don't think it's a big deal. You can actually even see creasing like on my nose too, so yeah. All right, so my conclusion on the foundation is it's not my favorite. I really don't care for it. I really don't like the way it's sitting on my face. Honestly, it does oxidize a little bit, but not by much. I feel like more the powder oxidizes a little bit. The powder did help me out because, as you guys saw, the foundation was not my shade. So the powder did help me out where that was concerned. The concealer, it's okay. I'm not crazy about it either. I definitely have other concealers that I love over this, like my Too Faced Born This Way. I think it's like one of my favorite concealers. So that is my thoughts on the Morphe foundation, concealer, and the powder. That is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. And I will see you guys back here on Friday at 6 p.m. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. Bye.